Welcome to another double RSR. Tonight we are reviewing first Toronto FC 1, New York Red Bulls 1, MLS 2025 Week 18, and then Urawa Red Diamonds 0, CF Monterrey 4, FIFA Club World Cup 2025 Group E, Toronto FC 1, New York Red Bulls 1, La MLS Jornada 18. It is what it is. Urawa Red Diamonds 0, CF Monterrey 4, la Mundial de Clubes de la FIFA, fase de grupos, Grupo E. We have two games to talk about, and we'll start with the Toronto game. We ain't got much to say about either, really. Let's just say what we got to say. This might not take that long, hopefully. First goal scored for the Red Bulls, 20th minute, Mohamed Sofo scores. Lewis Morgan takes the shot, saved by Sean Johnson. Sofo's on, slots home the rebound, 0-1. Slow defense from Toronto causes them to get owned at the back. One big mistake leads to the goal against. Of course, what's new? It's Toronto FC. This is exactly what you would expect from them. This is how they've played the whole year. One mistake, even though overall they were pretty solid throughout the whole game, one mistake leads to 1 point instead of 3. They had a good couple of chances, especially the second half, to win this game, but at least they drew. 0-1 at the half. 52nd minute, ball crossed in by Coelho after Long played it out to Coelho on the cross in. He crosses it. Rosted heads it down. Plays it to Corbianu. Corbianu with a header into the goal. 52nd minute, 1-1. 1-1. Full-time 1-1. Full-time stats are as follows. 13 shots to 8. 2 shots on goal to 5. 48% possession to 52% possession. 422 passes to 465. 79% pass accuracy to 81. 13 fouls to 7. 0 offside to 4. 1 yellow card to 1. 0 red card to 0. 4 corners to 6. Toronto were not the better team tonight, but I don't think Red Bulls were that much better either. I think both teams had their moment. I think Red Bulls were better for the first half. I think Toronto was slightly better the second half. I think both teams deserve 3 points at times, but overall, I think a draw is fair. I think the draw with Corbianu scoring the equalizer is fair. I think this game went better than I expected. It wasn't pretty, but it went better than I expected. I am not happy with the first half at all. The second half, good enough. We lost some players to injury. That sucks. Zane Monlouis being injured is absolutely trash. Hate to see it. Damn good player, and he's hurt. What do you know? But again, Toronto, they got the draw. Can't ask for much better. I mean, what else do you want, right? They got what you would expect them to get. Well, more than what you expect them to get, but not the win. Man of the match, Corbianu gets the equalizing goal. We'll go with it. Overall, not really much to say about that game. They probably, I don't know if they deserve better, but they had a chance to get more. Especially a little bit more than Red Bull, but I think the 1-1's fair. 1-1's fair. Now, Urawa Red Diamonds 0, CF Monterrey 4, Urawa 0, Monterrey 4, Mundial de Clubes, FIFA Club World Cup. Monterrey advances second place out of the group stage after an ass-kicking of Urawa. First half, the first 25 minutes, Urawa had their moments. I think Monterrey still were the better team. But Urawa went forward and said, hey, we're going to challenge you. We know we beat Leon. Kashima Antlers beat Chivas. We could beat you. And they challenged them. And they had their moments. They looked like they could pull off a draw, if not a win. Monterrey had to find their footing, even though I still think they were the better team. They found their footing. 30 minutes in, they dropped the game on its head. Nelson de Oso with an absolute thunder strike, chips over the keeper through his shoulder, in between his shoulder. He raised his hand. The spot between the raised hand and his head dips in. Beautiful goal by De Osa. Elba Lazo, 30th minute, 0-1, 0-1. And then it just got worse from there. Herman Berterame, ball's played into him. He takes a shot, goes to the far post. Keeper gets a hand to it, but Berterame still slots it home, far post, 0-2, 0-2. 39th minute, Tecatito looked like his old self, especially that 20 minutes where Monterrey looked like they were kicking Urawa's ass. Tecatito looked like his old self, and he got one. A banger of a shot, similar to De Osa's goal, but another banger. A laser beam from Tecatito, 39th minute, 0-3. 0-3, 0-3. Beautiful goal by Tecatito. Halftime, 0-3, 0-3, medio tiempo. Then Herman Berterame, 90+7, the 97th minute, the final goal of the game. The game calmed down after the first half. They took it slow. They were fine with a 3-0 win. There was an offside goal that was called back for Urawa. But Berterame scores a couple of minutes after that. Ball played in. He slides, nutmegs the keeper, 0-4, 0-4, full-time 0-4, 0-4 esta noche. Monterrey with a big win, a dominant win over Urawa Red Diamonds. And that's the exact type of game you would have expected out of Monterrey. I said 3-0, 3-0. About there. This was the type of game I would have expected, but what a dominant performance from Monterrey. Absolutely dominant. They kicked their ass. They kicked Urawa's ass. Simple as. Full-time stats, 10 shots to 18, 2 shots on goal to 7, 40% possession to 60% possession, 387 passes to 591, 85% pass accuracy to 90, 10 fouls to 7, 1 offside to 0, 0 yellow cards to 0, 0 red cards 0, 9 corners to 4. There's your game. Top of the group, not to be. Second place, yes. They get to play Dortmund, which I think is a winnable game for Monterrey. But we'll get there when we talk about it. With that being said, all the Argentinian teams are out of this tournament, which I just find nuts. The 2 Argentinian teams. So, CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, and UEFA have teams left in this tournament. And so far, there will be no African teams. There may be one Asian team left, but multiple teams in the knockouts. Only UEFA, CONMEBOL, and CONCACAF did that. CONCACAF, my takeaway from this, not exactly the game, but the night and the results, is CONCACAF's very underrated. And I've been saying that for years. And I feel like I'm vindicated here. Also CONMEBOL to a certain extent, but I'm vindicated here. UEFA is somewhat fraudulent. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying world football across the world is very underrated, especially CONCACAF and CONMEBOL. CONMEBOL to a less so, but I'm vindicated there. Is the Brazilian teams carrying, but they've made multiple teams through. With that being said, though, I'm not surprised with this result. Second place for Monterrey, fair, 2 draws, 1 win. You love to see it. Good for them. They got the 2 draws and went out and dominated the team they were supposed to dominate. Genius plan by Dome Tarrant. What a smart coach. Monterrey did their job. They kicked Urawa up and down the pitch. They kicked the shit out of them. Pardon my French, but they did. That was an ass kicking. Simple. Point blank period, simple. Ass kicking. Ass kicking. With that being said, though, I'm not surprised. Monterrey did their job. Man of the match for me, Herman Berterame. 2 goals. He could have finished more, but I'll take 2. With that being said, Monterrey advances. Felicidades Monterrey. Congratulations to Monterrey. They will move on with Inter Milan. So felicidades to them. Congratulations to them as well. First place, of course, for them. So we have the 2 teams through. Commiserations to River and Urawa. I guess Monterrey ain't León or Chivas. 23 León or 18 Chivas. They sure ain't, because they dominated a Japanese team. And Urawa's a solid team, but I'm not surprised. But we have 2 teams through. Also, congratulations to Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense. Felicidades Borussia Dortmund e Fluminense. Commiserations, Mamelodi Sundowns and Ulsan Hyundai. Yes. So they move on as well. So we have Borussia Dortmund versus Monterrey, Inter Milan versus Fluminense. And we'll see how those games go. We'll predict those on Friday, of course. The knockout stage, once again. Once we have the new knockout stage, the actual knockout stage, we'll predict it after we react to the group stages. And yeah, one more day of the Club World Cup group stage. What a time. What a time to be alive. With that being said, if you like this video, like and share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. for a live watch-along game review of Juventus versus Man City. Live, no review. Live, no review. If I said review, scratch that. And then a live and review of Al Hilal versus Pachuca. See if they come out with any pride, even though they're out. See what Al Hilal does. And that's how we'll finish the group stage. Friday, again, as I said, group stage recap, knockout stage predictions. Saturday, Chelsea game live, Toronto FC versus Portland live, RSR. Sunday, we have Miami versus PSG live, RSR. Canada versus Guatemala live, RSR. Live for USA versus Costa Rica. And then Monday, we'll talk about that later. So with that being said, 4 more days this week. Still pretty packed. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm running them out. Peace.